Hello, my friend, and welcome. This is the Back to Me podcast, and I am Heather, and I am super excited that you are here. And I just want to let you know that you're going to hear some tips and some tricks, some ideas, all to help you live your happiest and healthiest life. It is called Back to Me because when you are taking care of yourself, then you can take better care of others. And my goal is to make the world a better place. This is Wellness Your Way. I am really happy that you're here. Your true self is waiting. So it is time to step up and thrive. Hello, my friend. Welcome. It is the Back to Me podcast yet again. And it's another fabulous day because that's what I believe. So today, fabulous human beings on the deck. I have Chad Austin with me today. The fitness pivot. I feel like that should be in a big man voice. The fitness pivot. Chad, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
That's the mood I'm in today. So the fitness pivot, I don't want to start there though, which is okay because we'll get to that. But I always want to know why you do what you do. Like, how did you become the fitness pivot dude? And yeah, that's always so interesting.
Yeah. Personal training, or I've been a personal trainer for over 20 years now. I've been in fitness at least for over 20 years now. And it was kind of a second career for me. I was a PE teacher and a coach, high school coach for a few years first. And I thought training
always
was just
in
going
the
to be
fitness realm, right? Like,
yeah, and at least exercise realm. Yeah. And so I went into, I was a college athlete. I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. And so I knew I wanted to keep competing. And then physical education seemed to be a perfect fit for me. And so I went into that and coaching and teaching, and I loved that. But I thought that training was just going to be temporary until I found my next teaching job, and it just ended up being a better fit. And I think a couple years into fitness, I realized that I think exercise I've just always been attracted to because it was my best medicine. And, my best medicine to handle my anxiety, my depression, just to kind of be and have more confidence, just to be the best version of myself. And I think took a couple years for me to really realize that. And I tell you, once you realize that, it really shines a spotlight on everything you do that maybe isn't the right medicine. And it just kind of fuels your passion to want to help other people kind of find that same thing in their life.
Right. And I think it's so interesting because I've said it to people. And when you're talking to someone and maybe you find this, you say, oh, yeah, depression and anxiety. They go, no. You never would have suffered from any of that because you're awesome. And they see you as you are now instead of the road you took to get to where you are now. Right. So people remember everybody's got stuff. Right.
Yeah, everyone has obstacles and challenges in life, just like you do. There's no one that's immune to life's adversity, right?
Yeah, and having things to help you is kind of how you don't stay there. So everybody has them, must just not stay in them. So you were college athlete. What did you play?
I was a wrestler, actually.
Oh, okay. I could see that. And that's a pretty prone to injury, I think. Someone trying to twist
it can be.
Knot. Like how?
Yeah, there can be. I think there's actually still it's one of those crazy things. There's always stats that come out that say there's more injuries in basketball and other sports than there is wrestling. But yeah, you would think it's definitely a very intense sport.
Yeah. And so when you started personal training, were you going for the athlete guys, or what did you imagine, even though it was just a side gig? Like, because I know where it went, or I have, like, we're speaking briefly of where it went, but like, so when you started personal training, I don't imagine it was with this intention of this fitness pivot in mind. It was
no, it wasn't. when I was a PE teacher, I was a strength conditioning coach too, and so that was something that I'd always wanted to do. I got to actually have my own class during school that was strength conditioning for high school girls and boys, and so that was awesome. And so you definitely, when I became a personal trainer, my what I was targeting more was athletes and sports performance training and things like that. And so I got to train a lot of athletes at all levels, whether it be youth or semi-pro or striving to be pro athletes. And yeah, so that's definitely where it started for me. So I was definitely surprised to be kind of, I've trained just about every niche there is by this point, but what I've kind of found as my strength, was far away from strength conditioning.
Well, it's strength conditioning, but in a different way, right?
Yeah.
It's all relative. So you pivoted into the pivot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what was your thing that made you switch over from strength and conditioning? Was it something that happened to you, or was it the clientele that were coming?
I would say it's a little bit of both. I think I kind of realized, I mean, definitely I'm someone who wants to, I'm in my profession also because I love to help people. So as a lot of you probably listening you're in your field because you want to help people. And so you learn some tough lessons early on in training. When I worked at a 24-hour fitness, and that's for my first 4 years as a trainer. And so there's a huge gym. I saw a lot of clients, and you realize right away that people come to a trainer fueled by short-term motivation, right? That's how most people start. There's something coming up they want fast results for. And after some time of helping people, it's great to help people feel better about themselves going into some event, but normally those results are temporary because you don't ever take the time to look past it. And after helping so many people kind of lose result or kind of get results, but then have them only be temporary, it really started to change my philosophy because I want my time, I want my impact with clients to be long. I want it to last long after my time with them is over. And so I'm sure many of you can relate to that, but that definitely changed my way of thinking. And as I was kind of helping clients, get back in shape and trying to figure out, why isn't this sticking? I was realizing that I was going through the same thing in my own life, my own fitness journey. There were several times over my last decade and a half where fitness had kind of fallen out of my life. And I had to really fight hard to get it back. And so that's kind of really what shaped what I do now, is because I wanted people to be able to keep fitness a part of their life no matter what. So they can, no matter if things are going good or bad in their life, they can show up as the best version of themselves.
Right. And I think sometimes when people show up for fitness, it's like, I don't want to go to the gym and lift weights. Wah.
Yeah.
I'm a personal trainer too, by the way. So I've had people call me names and explain to me why they can't do it, even though they can. So for longevity, like what is I'll just ask it like this. What's your concept of lifelong fitness? Like, what do you think? What does that look like?
It's a little bit is always kind of redefining what fitness means to you. I think as our life changes, what fitness means to us and what our goal with fitness is kind of changes, and we have to adapt to that as we go. I know my definition of fitness, what fitness means to me, and how I know fitness will change my life, why I do it. It's much different than it was when I was in my 20s and I first became a trainer. I mean, definitely back then it was all about being shredded or being ripped. I wanted to look as good as I could and be as strong as I could. And that's always, looks is always something that is part of our goal to a point, but definitely it's way tipped to scales that it's more about how I feel now, about controlling my anxiety and handling my stress and having more confidence and having more energy. And for some people, it might be weight loss. For some people, it might be strength training. For some people, it might be just living without pain or being active as a grandpa. And so I think all our definition, when it comes to longevity, it really just, you have to keep redefining what fitness means to you. And I think your definition is going to change over time, and what you do for fitness is going to change over time. But I think that's an important thing just to be conscious of.
Yeah, definitely. And I used to have my own yoga studio, and I always joked that people come for the yoga butt, but they stay because they actually feel better. It has nothing to do with the yoga butt after a while. And I never promised people a yoga butt anyway. But so, and we started right before we started the podcast, friends. Chad started talking. I'm like, wait. Not yet. I didn't press record yet. So right before I press record, you started talking about, and you went like this. What's this? Maybe you don't remember what we're talking about. What the fitness pivot is.
Oh, Well, I
Oh,
think
man.
I might have made some kind of symbol, but I think I was talking about the ups and downs from the inconsistency roller coaster. I like to call it, the ride
That's
that
what it is.
no
Yeah.
one wants to be on, that we all kind of get stuck on from time to time, where fitness is just a part of our lives in spurts, but it doesn't seem to stick.
Right. And what have you found is the best way to help people have that consistency of some kind to help them, be able to do the things they want to do? ADLs,
Yeah.
activities of daily living,
Yeah, I like that. Well, I have cleanse and reset is kind of the phrase I use, and it's a coaching program I use with my clients. But basically, it's a cleanse and reset. It's after a life change. So whenever I've learned that basically it's life changes that cause us to fall off track, right? And it could
Right.
be good, could be bad, could be big, could be small. I mean, it could be you got married, could be you got divorced, could be you got promoted, could be you got fired. All these things you
Could be
may
that it
have
was
to adjust
Christmas.
to, right? Right. And so all these things you have to adjust to a little bit, or because the way fitness fit in your life before, after this life change, it may not fit the same way. And we're really good at adapting to changes like this when it comes to our family, our career, our faith, the things that are most important in our lives. But when it comes to fitness, it's so easy for us just to say, we'll get to that later. And the disservice we're doing to ourselves is that no matter what our top things are in life, where the most important things are, I don't believe we can show up as the best version of ourselves if fitness is not a part of it too. And the
Right.
longer fitness is out of our life, the farther we get away from being that best version of ourselves.
And the harder it is to get going again.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So
the
I'm just,
easier prey we are for all the scams out there and instant
yeah, get
gratification.
ripped in 90 days. I have the P90X.
Right.
I have the beach body. I have every version of that. What was that called with the guys? Another one of the beach body guys. Like, you name it. I got it on the shelf over there. And it's not because I thought I was going to get ripped. I was actually doing it as market research. But you see how easy it is for someone to see something like that and go, oh, if I just do that. But they haven't, I don't think they've taken that look of how fitness could integrate into their life to even make something like that last. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think it's we'll get all these promises, especially at the beginning of the year. We'll get so many promises of fast results with little or no work on our part. So many promises that we don't even have to change anything. This will help you get results. And there's no substitute. There's no shortcut, right? You have to find out how the work fits in your life to be able to get there.
even the people on
yeah.
that new diabetes pill, what's it called? I don't. That's kind of very where
Ozempic,
everybody's like, I don't even have to work out, and I'm just losing weight. I'm like, I don't know if that's good for you.
yeah.
But I know
Time
that
will
some
tell.
people are taking it for what it was designed for.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just taking it for a quick weight loss fix, I don't see that as long-term fix. Sorry, friends. So you might disagree with me. If you do, tell me, because I want to know.
Oh, it's not changing your behavior
Yeah,
any. It's
yeah,
not teaching any different behavior than you had before. And so that
right.
can't be good.
If your nutrition could be better before, then it could still be better afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Or if
so
you're
when you're
doing no
talking the
exercise.
cleanse, the cleanse and reset, is that partly diet as well that you're talking about? Or is that just
A
a
little
brain
bit. Yeah. But
time?
most of it is, it's part of it is just figuring out what fits. And so that's the one thing I've definitely learned over the years is what you do for fitness has to fit in your life. If it doesn't fit, it won't stay very long. You can force something to fit for a while, but if it doesn't really fit, then it's going to hurt the balance of your life. So the other things that are important, like your family, your career, they're going to suffer because you're trying to force something in your life that doesn't really fit. But the cleanse and reset, it's just 2 30-minute coaching calls that I do to help navigate someone through kind of figuring out how fitness fits in their life after this change. And so the first one is just redefining how fitness fits in your life. And so it's how does fitness fit in your life? Or a better way to say it is sometimes that question people don't hear it right. I mean, it's what does fitness mean to you right now? And so that's another way it's easier to say, and then figure out why you do it and how your life will be different if you do it. And then the other part is just how does fitness fit in my life right now? The fitness reset. So the Dorman cleanse and the fitness reset are the two calls that make up the cleanse and reset. The cleanse and reset, but it just it kind of helps you figure out if being able to adapt to change is a learned skill. And it's like, seems like it's so natural for us with the other parts of our life, but it's more natural for us in fitness just to put it off until later. And we don't even, it's like we have to learn how to do it right and how to adapt and keep fitness as a part of our life.
Right. And I'm just thinking of a client that I have who I originally started as her personal trainer. She came for an assessment. And then I didn't see her for 10 years because she said, I hate fitness. I was so sore. I said, it was an assessment. She goes, I was so sore. I said, okay, we're friends now, so we can laugh about it. But I like the way you rephrase it. Is like, what does it mean to you? Because I feel like when people hear that, how's fitness going to fit into your life? I hear her voice going, but I hate working out. I was like, well, that's not necessarily then how it's going to fit in your life, right?
Yeah, there's so many misconceptions when it comes to fitness. I don't, I've been in this for over 20 years, and so I've luckily got to train. When you've been in it for a long time, you get to train most of your family and friends eventually. And you get to help them, and that's a perk. But I think my dad, it took the longest for him to jump on board, and the reason was I found out in the end is just he had this picture in his head of bodybuilding. For some reason, when he thought of personal training, that's what he pictured. And for him, that's not fitness at all. I mean, for him, it's more about his mobility and range of motion and being able to go through all the range of motion, be able to do all the daily movements you should be able to do all the way through the end of your life without pain, and be able to have more energy and being able, so that it's more, his fitness was much different for him than what he had pictured in his head. And once he realized that it was something he really enjoyed and bought into. And
do you know Peter Twist?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know him, but I know who he is.
Yeah. So both my husband and I have trained with him because he's up here in Canada. And so thinking about pivoting, like even his training, he used to train, NHL hockey players. He probably still does actually. And he was all about that, like athletic performance. But when he had cancer, since he's had cancer, it's all about recovering in a way that you are still fit. So things like seniors, especially, one of the things is like falling is a big thing that seniors are in danger of. But I think it's not actually falling. We all fall down. It's they don't have the speed. He talks about speed to bring your leg forward and the strength to decelerate your motion. So he's training that kind of speed and strength movement from his fitness from his like sports background, but applying it to everyday movement, which for me is fitness, right? If, like you said, being able to be mobile, being able to catch yourself from falling down, being able to get up if you do fall down. My father-in-law couldn't get up when he fell down. It's like these things that we don't necessarily think about. And I think about when you get older, people get older, they don't get up and down off the floor anymore because so far away. Why would I go down there? But practice getting up and down off the floor.
Yeah.
And then practice without using your arms, right? Because daily movement is so huge to us being. I was talking to a guy earlier today whose father is 91 and they still go skydiving. So
that's awesome.
Age is not a limit, right? I'm going 91. Holy crap. That's intense.
Yeah.
But so when you do your fitness reset with them, I guess you can't see all of them to train them because do you do training online or do you just do it in person?
Yes. Yeah, I have a lot of clients that I can train online and in person, but so I can do both pretty well. And we have a couple great platforms that help people, whether it be just with the workouts or with consistency, accountability, whatever it is that we need. We found this as close as you can as the accountability that you get from someone in person standing there watching you do it that you can make resemble online. You can't, there's definitely times, I have my own personal trainer, and I understand that there's times during the year that's the level of accountability I need. I need her watching me do everything or else it'd be tough for me to get it done, at least at the beginning of the workout till I get going. Right. But, and so as much as you can resemble or have that kind of accountability online, we have it with what we've created. But
I have this thing when I do weights, and like, just got to get past squats. I just have to get past squats. And then I know I'll cruise through the rest of the workout. So even me, people who think that I'm like, oh, she works out all the time, I'm like, I still have things that I don't want to do, but I do them because I know that the after part is so much better. Like that 5 minutes of squats or whatever it is so minor compared to being able to go up and down the stairs without no problems, right?
I've found that that everybody's motivation, it doesn't matter who you are, everyone's motivation fluctuates throughout the year. There's no, sometimes we see personal trainers or we see professional athletes, and we have our assumptions that we've made in our head that this is easy for them and that they love doing this, and they don't all. There's a reason, even for professional, the greatest athletes on the planet, they have seasons, right? They don't work out that high intensity all year. No one can. Everyone's human. So they go in spurts where they need more accountability, and they have spurts where they have to dial it back a little bit on how hard they're working too, just for your own sanity and your own physical recovery and everything. And so your motivation fluctuates no matter who you are throughout the course of the year. And sometimes you're empowered and you can't wait for your next workout and you can hold yourself accountable. And other times you need accountability from external sources.
Right.
And just when you need it, find it.
Yeah. And where are you thefitnesspivot.com? I didn't go look.
Yeah, thefitnesspivot.com is where people can find me.
Right. It's like, hold on, I wrote it down. Nope, I didn't write it down. And so you've got your 30 and 30, and then you have online platforms. What other kinds of things are you helping, like resources for people?
Yeah. The best resource I believe, as I'm sure you have with your group, you have a community. And I think that is so important. You got to be able to, when you're on a fitness journey, especially if you're just starting a fitness journey, you have to be surrounded with enough people that are on the same journey as you. You can't go home. You can't go to your friends or go home and just share your journey with people that are just going to dismiss all your wins. You got to be with people that are going to celebrate your wins with you. It's so important, because otherwise it can seem like it can be really hard to keep going. And so we at thefitnesspivot.com, one of the easy things that you'll see is how you can join our community. So we have the Fitness Pivot accountability groups, we like to call them, that's on the school platform. But we have, whether you're trying to start new healthy habits or stop unhealthy habits, we have the accountability and consistency for both of them. Just that we have monthly challenges, just that you can decide if you want to be a part of it this month or not be a part of it this month. And every month, if you're trying to build more habits, we help you get consistent on that. And that platform is full of free workouts and tips as well. And also customized programs that you can purchase for yourself too. And coaching programs like the Cleanse and Reset. That's
handy, let me tell you, because so I have a subscription to Les Mills. You must know what Les Mills is. Yeah. And there's nobody to talk to. There's nobody to talk to. Maybe I could phone up, Les Mills and go, hey, can you just give me a little pep talk? No. But luckily I do surround myself with people who will give me my pep talk when I'm not feeling it. But I know there's lots of people who, especially when I don't do a lot of personal training now, but when I was doing a lot of personal training, it's like they needed you to be their motivation on those days that they're not, right? And that's, it's accountability, but it's also, let's just, get you some momentum going so that you can get going and keep going. And if they have access to a community, that's even better. Do you find that there's like a variety of ages and people and backgrounds and.
Yeah. So our we definitely have a wide range of people, of ages and backgrounds, of course, and definitely fitness levels. So there's people that have been doing it for a long time, people that are brand new, or maybe people that have just had a long break and they're basically starting over, figuring out how fitness fits in their life. So it doesn't matter. There's no place you have to be in there. Everyone's welcome, and can benefit from having the group. And I think if you're not in the mindset, or I want to feel better temporarily, no one's sorry. You always have a deep desire when you get started. And so short-term motivation, any motivation is awesome. So lean into that as much as you can. If you have one right now, that's got you started and just put you in the door. But eventually you're going to have to think of what's next. You're going to have to answer the question, what's next? Or how do I keep going? Or the answer will be made for you and it'll be nothing. Because as soon as that short-term goal is over. And so that's kind of what it kind of helps you do. Because ideally with the fitness pivot and what we do there, everybody on there, if you're just starting with fitness, what you're really ultimately trying to do is have an identity change. You're trying to be that person who, I work out now. I'm a fit person. I do this all the time. And in order to do that, you gotta, sometimes it can seem like an eternity to get there at the beginning. So you got to be able to celebrate every win. You got to be able to focus on that and not focus on all that you still have left to do.
And you got to be nice to yourself, right? So you didn't become the way you are overnight. You're not going to change to the way you want to be overnight. And that's true with anything you're trying to learn, right? So, and I know fitness and figuring out how fitness is going to work for a lot of people, that's their struggle. Like, how am I going to do this? When there's a yoga teacher that I know who I use this line, and they've heard it before, but I'm going to say it again. So when I have people, because I've been teaching yoga for 20 years, it's like, oh, Heather, I'm too stiff for yoga. I'm too inflexible. It's too slow. It's too this. So whenever they tell me I'm just not flexible enough for yoga, it's like saying I'm just too dirty to take a shower.
Yeah.
So you got to start where you are. And then you move yourself there. I can't do lotus position. It's fine. My knees would kill me if I tried to do that. Heather, that's not meant for you. But I still practice my yoga because that's the way that I've developed it for me makes my body feel good. Right. So give yourself time to explore it, make mistakes, and not, as long as you don't hurt yourself, make some mistakes and then go from there.
Sometimes we have to hear what we actually said out loud. When people, how many times as a fitness professional have you heard someone say, I got to get in shape first before I come to you?
Yeah.
And my wife is a financial planner. And so she'll hear the same thing about money. It's like, I got to get my stuff organized first before I come see you. And you got to, sometimes you got to hear what you actually said out loud, because that's what we're here to do, is to help you make that happen and help you get fit.
That's like saying, I got to clean the house before I call the house cleaner.
Right.
I can't get her to come over to a dirty house. What?
Yeah. I can't let her see this mess.
Isn't that what you're paying her for?
Right.
Awesome.
That is important, though, what you said about starting where you are. And so there's a phrase I recently learned that I love, and it's I'm not where I want to be because I want to start where I wish I was. And so I love that phrase. I'm not where I want to be because I keep trying to start where I wish I was. Isn't that awesome? But how many people does that apply to, right? When you start a fitness journey, if you're restarting and you've had a break or whatever, you always have to know you're not picking up where you left off, because you're not there anymore. You have to be honest with yourself and start where you are. Everyone knows that in January, the beginning of the year, fitness professionals are really busy. You know who's really busy about January 15th? Chiropractors, doctors, physical therapists, because everyone got motivated and then they just forgot that's not where I am anymore.
And then in February, the gym is a desert. You can hear the crickets, That doesn't mean you should, don't go to the gym if you don't want to go to the gym. Come on, you guys. We got so many options now. All right. So everyone's going to go over to the fitness pivot. It's a school. So school platform, what's spelled SKOOL, but I'm going to put in the the show notes where they can click over and get all of the good stuff, because everybody. So when this airs, bikini season's coming, friends. If you need some motivation, just to get you going, that shouldn't be your ultimate motivation, but that can help people get people going. Before we go, thefitnesspivot.com. Do you have a final words of wisdom for our friends?
I definitely do. But also thefitnesspivot.com. That's the best place just to go there first. There's also going to be a pop-up that comes up. You'll get my Make Fitness a Priority starter kit. So it's a free. So if you liked what you heard today, I have 3 books that I've published under Make Fitness a Priority. And so you'll get a copy of my first book, plus a little mini course of how to win the fight against your excuses. So just go to my website, thefitnesspivot.com. It'll pop up right away. And that's a freebie, but it's easy to find the community from the website too.
Amazing.
But, so I think that's a best freebie I've put together over years. So I love doing these interviews. And so if this has been motivating for anybody, please go and get that. It'll be helpful for you as you're on your fitness journey. But my just words of wisdom for you all. I think the best thing to know whether you're in the middle of your fitness journey or just getting started, is that there's nothing about making fitness a part of your life that says you have to be perfect. You're human, and that is not the bar you should set for yourself. It's an impossible bar to make. During the beginning of the year, we hear so much about how New Year's resolutions and how everyone's going to fail. And those are the dumbest stats in the world, because every single person, 100% of the people in the world are going to fail. No one's perfect. You're going to miss a workout. You're going to have to go through the drive-through one day because you didn't plan ahead. Something's going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. And that does not stop your fitness journey. That does not define you. What defines you is how you bounce back and get back on track. And so every time you make a mistake going forward, it's not the end of it. It's not over. It's always the thing you need to remember is it's what you do next that counts. Just how are you going to get back on track, and you'll keep getting stronger for next time. Amazing.
There you go. Everybody's going to make that mistake. Thank you for forgiving me for the takeout. Thanks so much, Chad. It's been awesome talking to you. Friends over in podcast land, you know what to do. And hello, pop up and download, take it, because he's not going to be standing over you saying 1 more, 2 more. So go for it. And if you know someone who had a New Year's resolution and then didn't follow through, send them the podcast. They'll appreciate it. Thank you, my friends. Take care. We'll see you next time. Hello, my friend. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you found it useful and you're like me and you want to help others, please share this, comment, like, subscribe, all of those things that will help this podcast to be found by more people. And if you found it useful, there's a chance that someone else will find it useful as well. If you ever have any questions, I am here to answer your questions. I would love to help you. My direct email address is info@heatherstewart.coach. You can also find me at heatherstewart.coach. And if you go over to my website, you will find copies of the podcast. You'll find the link to my Instagram and my Facebook. And I do have a personal request because I do want to help as many people as I can with these podcasts. So if you could give me a review, and my friend, I would love if you gave me a good one. If you could share this, if you could send it out into the world, I would truly appreciate it. I hope that you have an amazing day. I hope that you are finding your way back to wellness by getting back to me. Take care, my friend. Be well, and we will see you again next time.